Welcome to Watercolor Lessons with Kathy. I'm Kathy Nichols, and I'm a lifelong artist, painter, and teacher. I help students of all ages tap into their creativity with watercolor. Watercolor is a great way to express yourself, and it's easy to get started and fun to do. I hope you join me to learn how to paint with watercolor. I can't wait to see your paintings. Welcome to the next lesson in our Angel series. Friends and family have always enjoyed my angel art, so I thought it would be fun for us to paint some. Today we'll paint an angel welcoming you with open arms. We'll use 2 brushes, 8 paints, wet on dry, blotting, template, white space, and wash techniques. Be sure to check below for useful information and links. Let's paint! Welcome to today's lesson. Let's get started. Today's lesson, we will be using the template. So here I have my template. But before that, we need to take your spray bottle, spray your cans of paint, loosen them up, and put some water in your palette. Then place your template on your paper, and mine is going to be about right there. Now my template is not fitting quite right, but that's okay because it's just a sketch to where I'm going to start, where we will start painting things. So put your template down. Pick up your liner brush and load it with ochre. And go around the head where the hair is going to be, and then stop. Clean your brush and load it with intense blue, and then start tracing around the wing. Now this is coming a little bit off the paper, and that's okay. You can adjust it later. Like so. And then lift your template up. Okay. Since we already have intense blue on our brush, we'll stick with that color and come along the wing here and dilute some of that water, some of that paint, and spread it while it's wet. Then come on the other side and do the same thing. If you need to add a little paint, you can do so. Okay, I'm going to stop and change the color on my brush. Load it with the ochre. And sketching in the hair. And then make the definition of where her face is. Just a slight line there. And making more of a definition where her neck is. Now I see the paint spreading here a little bit, so I'm going to dab it. And then sketch in the neckline. Neckline's going to be about right there. And then she'll be having her hands down at her side. So you need to form her arms. And actually, no, my mistake. I was thinking of another painting, is her arms are going to be outstretched. Like, so take some of that ochre to start forming where her hands outreach. And you don't want to make a strong definition of a form. It's just the impression. Like so. Okay, now we will be going on to her dress. And we will still stick with the liner and load your brush with the intense blue and add a little sap green to give it some contrast. And put some of the color on the neckline here. And then you notice I started fairly strong, and I did that on purpose. And now I'm going to spread some of that paint down into the dress. Just wet my brush a little bit here. You can pull some of that paint. If it's too strong, you can always add water to your brush. And when I come down below the dress, I'm not making a straight line. I'm kind of making it scraggly. I'm going to put some puffy clouds down below. like so. Okay. Now we're going to give it a good dry before we continue. Okay, take your liner, clean it, and let's work on the face. Now, we don't want to leave the face totally white, so we're going to make skin tone color, mix ochre, some burnt sienna, and some umber. Now, with a touch of crimson. That might be a little dark, and if it is, you can add some white to it, and that will lighten it. And then if you want to test it on your paper towel. That seems just about right. And start with the face. If it's too strong, you can add some water to your brush to thin the color so it won't be so dark. Like so. Now, below her neck, it is a little darker. So with that mixture, I have a little bit of the dark mixture here. I'm going to use that down below her neck. And I ran out of that mixture, so I'm going to make some more. It has a little bit too much water in it. Now I am going to leave some white spot right here, like that's where some of the light is coming. Now before I continue, I'm going to give it a quick dry on that section. I add more paint. It's a little bit too wet. There you go. Okay, now let's turn our attention to the hair. Take some ochre and burnt sienna. And add some strands here, and some of it goes onto her arm. Comes down this way. Got a little bit of the blue in it. Just wipe it out. Come this way. Like so. Seems a little dark right here. Thin the paint out. That's better. Okay. Now, my arms seem a little faint. So I'm going to take some of the skin mixture, which I used ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and a touch of crimson. Test it on it. It's a little dark, a little white. Her arms might be a little darker than her skin tone in her face. And again, you can start out dark, and if it's too dark, add some water to lighten it. And come on this side. Ran out of the mixture, need to make some more. Now that's a little too dark. And doesn't quite match the other one, so I might just add a little more darkness on the other side. Just a touch. Kind of even it out. Like so. This arm is a little bit longer, so we need to extend this one. Like so. So then, it looks like when I look at my painting, the neck needs some work. And there's some more shadows, so we're going to add some contrast there. Take your liner brush and load with burnt umber and some of the ochre. And kind of make a more definition on her neck there. A little bit on the other side too. All right. So we're working on the neck here. I want to make this a little more curvy. So I'm just spreading the paint a little bit there. No, I don't like the white here. I want it connected lower down to where the dress is. So taking some of my skin tone mixture, which I have right here, and some white. It was a little dark, but I will fix it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and work on the wings a little bit. And to do that, we will still stick with the liner brush and load it with ultramarine blue. Put some on your palette there. And start putting a little definition on the wing here. Now that was a little strong. And again, I like to start strong because then you can water it down with water and spread the paint. Add some below her arm there. You can add some of that color a little bit in her dress, like so. Now let's go to the other side. Like so. Okay, now let's work below. We're going to leave the background here white and the background right here white. And then start about here to form some clouds. So we will be using the mop brush. And I want to make sure that I have my paper towel because we're going to be doing some dabbing. And load your mop brush with the ultramarine blue and the intense blue. So we're using two of the blues, different colors there. So get a different mixture of a blue. And start a little above her dress right here and dab a bunch of paint on. Go on the other side and do that. And then take a paper towel and dab it a little bit. And it'll kind of help form the little, kind of like little clouds. So keep dabbing until you feel like the job is done. And you can stop and then look. Okay. I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. I do want to add a little darker strands in our hair. So with that, I'll take my liner and load it with burnt umber and just a touch of the ochre, lighten it up a little bit. And just make a little more definition here. Oh, that's a little too dark, but I'm gonna water that down. And put a little bit on this side and a little bit in the neck there. Like so. Now I'm going to stop touching it. I think the hardest thing with watercolor is to overdo it. And that's why it's good to pause, look at your work, and you even sometimes come back to it a day later to get a fresh start. I like my angel, and I hope you enjoyed doing this too. I enjoyed painting with you today, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I'd love to see photos of your creations. You can email them to me at the address in the description. To suggest something you'd like to paint, please let me know in the comments. If you'd like to give watercolor a try, please subscribe to my channel and take a lesson or two. Please join me next time when we'll paint another angel. Take care, be safe, and see you soon.